Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Zara Unfiltered. I'm Zara Farami. For those of you if it's your first time here, just welcome. I hope everybody had an amazing week last week. And before we continue any further, I just wanted to apologize for not uploading a video last week. We had a family emergency that we had to attend to, so I was focused on that. So please forgive me. I'm so sorry. But hopefully we all can get back on track after this. So welcome. All right, let's just dive right in. So in the last video, for those of you who didn't watch, and if you didn't watch it. In the last video, I was starting out by sharing some of the lessons that I learned in 2020. And we covered 3 lessons in that video because the series is going to be 20 lessons that were learned in 2020. So the first 3 that we talked about were the importance of realizing that no position is permanent and how we shouldn't feel we are above any situation happening to us, and also the importance of being open to new ideas, being open to new ways of thinking, being open to new things in general, because you never know, maybe your blessing, maybe your miracle, maybe what you're looking for is on the other side of you being open. So that's what we discussed last week. So let's just dive right into this week's topics. All right, so the first lesson and the fourth one so far that I want to talk about in this video, I'm going to use my little cheat sheet because I want to make sure that I'm reading it right, is it's important not to get distracted by the grace and mercies others are receiving that you lose sight of your own. Don't get distracted by the grace and mercy that others are receiving that you lose track and sight of your own. Let me just tell you a story. There's this lady I know this lady. She's one of these people, if she has a need or want anything, all she needs to do is just make it be known. Just tell people, I need this, or I want to new this, I want to new that. And somehow, I don't know how, she always gets it. She always gets it. She'll just be like, oh, she literally told me, she was like, oh, I'm going to get a new iPhone for Christmas. I'm like, are you sure? She's like, my own one doesn't work. I'm like, so you're going to buy one? She's like, no, I'm going to get it. I'm just like, okay. Sure enough, she got a new one. And I was just like, how? She's like, she told somebody and they just gave it to her. And it's like this with males, females, everywhere she goes. If she expresses a need or want, people just give it to her. And I was just like, what? How? Like, huh? And that's amazing. That's like a grace that God has put over her life, that all her needs and wants are going to be met. And I was just like analyzing it to the point where, like, I'm trying to be honest with myself. I was just like, huh? How is this? Is this fair? Like, what? But like my spirit immediately convicted me and was like, why are you focusing on her? Why don't you focus about what God has done for you? Why don't you focus about the grace and the mercies and the blessings that you receive? I was so busy looking at her like, oh, this is happening to her. Someone bought her this, she got that, that I was losing track of all the amazing, wonderful blessings that God has blessed me in my life. And I feel we do that because I mentioned in the very first video when I started this Zara Unfiltered, and I was talking about the whole journey with depression and everything. We live in a society, we live in a world where everything is on social media. Everyone is showing you the best of what they've gotten. Everyone is showing you all their accomplishments, all their highs. They're not really showing the lows because nobody wants to see, like, let's be very honest. We're more inclined to pay attention to, oh my God, this person won. This person's a champion. This person's this. We don't see the struggle process. We don't see the things that go on behind the scenes. And because of that, we're so busy focused like, oh my God, this person got a new car. How come I don't have a new car? This person got a new phone. How come I don't have a new phone? This person got this. And it's like, we're not paying attention. Okay, they got a new car. You got a promotion at your job. So it's like, we're so busy looking at the neighbor. Oh, they got this, they got that we're not focusing and we're not thanking God and we're not highlighting the own blessings that have happened in our own lives. I am so guilty of that. And it's just like comparison. Like, I'm realizing that, like, comparison really is a thief of all joy because you'll be happy with what you've got. You got A. And then when you start looking at your neighbor, it's like, theirs is bigger, theirs is this, theirs is that. And you're not appreciative of the blessing, the grace, and the mercy that you're receiving. Like I said, I am so, like, immediately when I was thinking about it, like, oh my gosh, she got this, she got that. My spirit immediately convicted me, that focus on you. Focus on what God has done for you. Because sometimes when we are focusing on what God has done for other people, the blessings that other people are enjoying, it makes us ungrateful. It would just start to hold less value on what God has given us. And you won't enjoy what you've got what you've been given. I'm so sorry I'm tripping up on my words, but I'm just trying to go with the flow. Like, you won't hold value on what God has given you. You won't see the beauty in it because you're so busy looking at someone else. And I'm learning life is all about perspective. If you learn to appreciate what's in your hand, you'll see the beauty. You'll hold more value. You'll hold more esteem. And who knows, God will end up giving you more in the end. So that was one of the biggest lessons that I learned in 2020. Focus on the grace, the blessings, the mercy that your life has been given. Don't worry about other people. Celebrate with other people when things happen to them, when great things happen. Celebrate with them. But focus on yourself in that area. Okay, so the next lesson that I want to talk about that I learned in the year 2020 was the importance of making sure that you do your part in maintaining the blessing that God has given you. It's one thing for us to pray and say, God, do this, God, do this. God answers us, and we don't do the upkeep. We don't play our part. We don't maintain and do what we need to do in order to make sure that these blessings are continuous in our lives. The lady that I made mention of in the first lesson, like a few seconds ago, I was saying how people are always blessing her, blessing her. She's also a very nice and approachable woman. She's also a people person. She's someone that connects well with other people. If you talk to her, she has insight. She can give you advice. She's very friendly. She's very kind. If she was maltreating people, do you think people would be very inclined to help her? No. It's the fact that she's made an impact in people's lives. They always remember her that, oh, she needs something. Let me help her. Let me come to her aid. Let me come to her rescue. She's doing her part. I remember, I think I saw it on Facebook, or it was a story they told in church. This lady, she was praying for her husband, praying for her husband. And God gave her the husband of her dreams. God answered her prayers plus some and gave her an amazing husband. And time went by in the marriage, and the man eventually was asking for a divorce. And the lady was crying to God, God, how could you let this happen to me? How could you let this happen to me? I prayed to you, you gave him to me. Now you want to take him away? What? God, how could you let this happen? And I believe like the Spirit convicted her and let her know, like, ma'am, you weren't doing your part. You're talking to your husband anyhow. She was treating him very badly. She wanted a good husband, but she wasn't being a good wife in return. And so she wasn't doing what was necessary to maintain the blessing of a beautiful marriage that she wanted. And I realized I fall short in that area. It's like, God, bless me with this. I want this. Or I work hard towards something and I finally get it, but I don't do the maintenance to keep up with it. And I realized that, like, sometimes as young people in school, it's like that. It's like when we start the semester, we put in all this hard work, we're getting the grades. By the middle, the momentum dies down. And then by the end, we're just struggling and scrambling to make sure, like, oh, I just want to pass the class. I just want this. I just want that. And at that point, you're just settling for the bare minimum. Meanwhile, if you would have just kept the same momentum and worked hard and to maintain all of it, all the stress in the end, we wouldn't have had to go through it. So I learned that it's important that we do our part. If you're blessed with something, if you're blessed with a promotion at work, don't rest on your oars. Keep putting in the energy. Keep putting in the work to move forward, to advance yourself. Because if you stop working, they're going to be questioning, why did we give this person a promotion in the first place? If you buy a new car, you keep driving it, you don't put gas, the engine light comes on, you don't go check. The brake lights come on, you don't go get your brakes checked. You don't check the oil. You're not maintaining it. What was the purpose in the first place? I was talking to one of my cousins, and we were talking about like a specific country and everything. And we were talking, my cousin was just like, my cousin travels. My cousin was like, one of the main problems of this country is maintenance. They will invest all this money in beautiful architecture, landscapes, everything, but maintenance. And everything starts to wear away. Everything starts to deteriorate. And it starts to look like, and you start to wonder, like, why did you invest all this money in a project if you're not going to maintain it? Maintenance is very important. If we're blessed with something, let's do our part. Let's keep working to make sure that this blessing stays beautiful. Like, I always see blessings as plants in a way. Like, the roots are there, but we have to nurture and do our own to make sure it blossoms and flourishes into something amazing. Maintenance is key. Let's make sure we do our part. We're blessed with so many things God is kind enough to give us. We have to do our part. If not, they always say it takes two to tango. If we don't do our part, it's just going to fade away after time. And I hope that doesn't happen to any of us in Jesus' name. Okay, so the last point that I want to touch on in this video, because I don't want to take too much of your time, is the importance of gratitude. Give thanks always. I was one of those people, and I'm not gonna lie, I sometimes still I'm one of those people where I'm a pessimist. I see what I don't have, I see the negative aspects of everything. But one day, one of my friends, we were talking on the phone, and he was like, do you realize you're in a position that many people wish they were in? And once I was able to start changing my outlook and my perspective of things, I'm telling you, it got so much better. Yes, I'm not where I want to be, and many of us may not be where we want to be exactly. But when you sit down and take a look, you aren't where you were either. You've made progress. You have made some steps. You've made some strides forward. Give thanks. The little things, the big things. Yes, I may not have this, but I have this. Like, you may not have the car that you want. I don't know why I keep talking about cars, but you may not have the car that you want, but you can stand, you can walk, you can run by yourself. Many people don't have that opportunity. So it's very short, it's very simple. Give thanks always. No matter how dark the situation is, no matter how bad things may seem, there's always a cause to give thanks. Something as simple as moving your hands by yourself. Many people can't do that. Many people can't do that without the assistance of an oxygen tank. And it's not that we're better than anybody else. It's the grace of God. So just give thanks in all situations, and God will bless us as we do so. All right, so I'm about to round up this video, but before I go, I realized that 20 things in the year of 2020 is going to take a lot of time, because we've only gotten to 6 in 2 videos. So that's like, what? At least another 3 or 4 videos left, So one of my friends actually gave me an idea, because I've been thinking how to get this platform more interactive and not just on YouTube alone. And she was suggesting that I make little videos and little clips to put on my Instagram story, like Zara Zaps. So list little words of advice. So I feel like some of the remaining points on this list, I'm just going to do throughout the week on my Instagram. And I'll put my Instagram handle down below. So just little Zara Zaps, little words of encouragement. So the rest of these lessons will probably be through Instagram like that, because I realized we'd probably be into the month of March, almost April. Well, yeah, March, before we finish this. And there's some other things that I just want to talk about as life is moving on. So thank you all so much for sharing your time with me. By the time I post this video, Valentine's Day will have been over. So I hope everyone had a beautiful Valentine's Day. Please like, share, subscribe, and like I said, share with anyone that you feel may benefit from this. And I'll see you all next week. Have a beautiful and wonderful week ahead. Bye.